Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Hitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Hitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tattva Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunnavadi Paschatya Desatarine. So today we are discussing on the transcendental knowledge. We are in the chapter called transcendental knowledge or Vidvigyan. So you see in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a proper sequence of probably there is a proper flow of the message of the Supreme Lord, one chapter after another. So in the first chapter, we saw that Arjuna was very much depressed and he was distressed and got confused. He was not able to perform his duty properly. His duty was to perform. His duty was to fight for the cause of establishing the dharma, but he was not able to do that. So he was so much in depressed condition. So in the second chapter, Arjuna accepts Lord Krishna as his spiritual master, and he received the knowledge from the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, whatever argument Arjuna gave in the first chapter, that why he doesn't want to fight. So Arjuna cited many reasons for why he is not able to fight. One of the reasons was compassion. He was compassionate to his family members. Second reason was he was enjoyment. He is not able to enjoy. If he wins also, because all will be killed, and with whom he will enjoy. And the third reason was that all the family members, they will be killed. There will be destruction of the dynasty. Okay. Is it the voice is audible? So another reason was that there will be, thank you. There will be destruction of the family members, and so these are the reasons he cited. And others reason was that he will be infected with the sinful reaction. So because of that, Arjuna was not fighting. So Lord Krishna, he dismissed all the whatever reasons, argument Arjuna gave, and he gave the knowledge of our identity, the identity of the living entity, the spirit soul, he is eternal, who cannot be killed, which cannot be killed. So as Arjuna was thinking that he will be able to kill the family member, but if you see in the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that he cannot be killed. Only the body will be killed, because the soul is eternal. It will take another body according to his deed and its desire. And in the second chapter, Lord Krishna gave also about the eternal occupation, Sanatan Dharma. He gave about the Sanatan Dharma, and in the third chapter, Lord Krishna gave about the how to perform action devoid of any attachment. Devoid of any desire for the enjoying the result of that particular action. And also third chapter, Lord Krishna spoke what is that force, what is that reason why we are forced to go for sinful action, or why, what makes us not to perform our duty or dharma. So Lord Krishna gave that because of our lust, or independent desire to enjoy apart from the Supreme Lord, the desire to enjoy separately from the Supreme Lord. So this is the reason why we are not able to perform our dharma or duty. So, and not only Lord Krishna diagnosed the reason why one is not able to perform his duty because of lust only, but he gave solution. So it's not only the diagnosis of the problem, but he gave solution also. So Lord Krishna spoke that this lust is because of our because of the mode of passion. So Rajoguna Samudbhava. It is because of our passion. And what it does that it covers how the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, it covers the real knowledge of the living entity, it covers. And also Lord spoke about the solution that by having deliberate spiritual intelligence, by regulating, at first he gave about simply by regulating the senses, by controlling the senses, by regulating. Controlling means regulating the senses, and in initial level, and also through deliberate spiritual intelligence, one can be free from the lust. And again in the fourth chapter, the same answer continues. Lord Krishna spoke. Lord Krishna is speaking. The question what Arjuna has asked, that what is the reason of performing sinful activities, or what is the reason for not performing our duty? And in the fourth chapter, Lord Krishna spoke. He continues to speak, and he introduces the one concept of the transcendental knowledge. He introduced the subject of transcendental knowledge. Like we studied that if you can invoke the transcendental knowledge, then your lust can be controlled. That Lord Krishna spoke in the third chapter. The transcendental knowledge Lord is now explaining in the entire fourth chapter. So in the fourth chapter, it has been divided into four subsection. It's not that Vyasdev ji has divided four sections, but it's for our own conveniences to make us understand the subject matter. So like suppose if you remember in our school days or in our college days or wherever, what we do to remember the things, we set out like similar thing in one group, so that we can remember. We make different groups which are similar in the things. So here also there are four sections. In the first section, Lord Krishna speaks about the eternal education. Lord Krishna speaks eternal education, the transcendental knowledge, and its history. Its history means when it has the knowledge has come. So Lord Krishna explained that this knowledge is not a new one, like it has not. He has not. Giving a new knowledge. Not inventing a new knowledge and giving to Arjuna for the first time. But he has this knowledge is there since time immemorial. The living as long as the living entity is there, this knowledge is also there. So what Lord Krishna spoke that he first spoke about this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge. This transcendental knowledge of one's relationship with the Supreme Lord, that is called yoga. That is yoga. If you see the first verse of the fourth chapter, there is very particular word called yoga. Uh, so if you see the first verse, just I will read for your sake. Shiv Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivaspate Yogam Praktavan Aham Abhyayam Vivaspan Manave Praha Manu Ispa Kave Avadit. So he spoke this transcendental knowledge, that is the knowledge of one's relationship with the Supreme Lord, to the Sun God. First to the Sun God. The Sun God is, his name is Vivaspan. And then Vivaspan, he spoke his to son Manu, Manu to Ispaku. So in this way, one in the disciplic succession, Guru Parampara, it is coming. This knowledge is coming. Evam Parampara Praptam. So this knowledge is coming through Guru Parampara. And this knowledge is not new. It's not first time. So it has been coming, but at the time passes, the knowledge was lost. The knowledge was lost. There was no suitable candidates for the Supreme Lord to speak. So Lord will speak why he spoke this knowledge to Arjuna. So Lord again tells that after giving the knowledge, what is the qualification? Why he chooses Arjuna to speak? Why he make his first disciple Arjuna? So Lord speak that because Arjuna was a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Devotee means what? He has that he has that desire to execute according to the instruction of Supreme Lord. So he is ready to do whatever Lord speak. He is in a submissive mode, and he is a friend to the Supreme Lord. So because of these qualities, he spoke this knowledge to Arjuna. But there were other qualified persons, like if you see the knowledge, if you see the four varna that Brahmana, Kshatriya, then your Vaishya and Shudra. These four varnas. So Brahmanas are mostly they are to receive this knowledge, and they have to distribute this knowledge. Their work is that that they will receive this knowledge and they will transfer to the knowledge to the other sections of the society. But at that time, there were qualified Brahmanas like your Dronacharya, then your Kripacharya, and other. Yudhishthir Maharaj was Dharmaraj. Lord Krishna came to establish the Dharma, but Dharmaraj was present, Yudhishthir Maharaj was present. But he did not choose all of them, but he chose Arjuna as because of these qualities. That Arjuna was ready to do whatever Lord will speak. He has that spirit of submission. And again, after speaking this, Arjuna he inquired again that how come Lord Krishna, how come my Lord, that you are in my same age, we are in the same age, but you are telling that you spoke this knowledge to the Vivaspan, who is millions and millions of years before, but we are in the same age, so how can I understand? So Arjuna was not arguing. He was not arguing, but he is telling that how can I understand this? But this quality was there with Arjuna, that he was not argumentative. He is submissively asking this question, is inquiring. So inquiry was one of the most quality to receive the knowledge. So Arjuna has this quality. So if you see total Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna had put 84 questions. If you see the total number of questions, but it is like a question and answer session. Like Lord Krishna is explaining something, but if Arjuna is not able to understand that, it is he is asking this question that I am not able to understand. Please explain me. So it's not like argumentative. That how it can be possible? No, he's telling that how I can understand, my Lord, that because you are in the same age, but you are telling that you explain this knowledge millions and before to Sun God Vivaspan. Like for example, if I speak that I spoken to Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is born many years before. But if I speak like that, then definitely it is curiosity that how come I spoke to him. So Arjuna, this is our normal, for Arjuna knows this. For us to know, then Lord Krishna speaks. Lord Krishna speaks that we have, both of us had taken many births, but you do not remember, but I remember all of them. So here Lord Krishna tried to speak about himself. About himself he tells this particular section. So this is the second section. So as I told that there are 4 sections of this particular chapter. In the second section, Lord Krishna speaks. And in the second section, Krishna removes the misconception. So I will tell what are the misconceptions. So in this section, Lord will speak about himself. That yes, there is differences between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. They cannot be equal. Like Supreme Lord, he can remember everything of his past, present, future. For example, if you see in the Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter also, when Lord speak about the soul, so he's telling to Arjuna that, Arjuna, see, it's not like that we were not existing in the past. Now we are existing. We know that we are now existing, but in future also will exist. So how can he say about future? If he doesn't know about the future, then how can he know, say? So here Lord Krishna speaks that there is difference. Like if I ask you what you have done, yesterday, it will be very difficult for you to speak exactly this time what you were doing, or day before yesterday. So this is the difference between the Supreme Lord and a living entity. Lord Krishna, or Supreme Lord, he can remember his everything, past, present, future. Lord Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita also in the later chapter, I know everything. I know everything. And so this is the way. So Lord Krishna speaks that about himself he speaks that his body doesn't change. And because he doesn't change his body, he doesn't forget. He can remember everything. But we, the living entity, with the jiva, we change body according to our karma, according to our desire and deed. We changes our body. So as soon as we change our body, we forget. But Supreme Lord doesn't change his body. The same spiritual body he descend. Then in this way, Lord, again, there is again differences that we get a body because of our karma, but Lord Krishna appears as his own will. Like recently we observed the Janmashtami. So Lord Krishna, he descend, like he doesn't take birth. Like if you, for example, the sun, if you see the sun, if there is sunrise and sunset. But can we say that sun has taken birth or sun has died? No. Sun is appearing and disappearing. Now it is what time? It is now 8 o'clock in Delhi. But if you see, there is no sun here. But I do not remember. But in some part of the world, there will be sun. There will be sun. Sunshine will be there. So sun doesn't take birth. Sun doesn't die. But in some part it appears and some part disappears. So Lord Krishna also, he appears and it disappears because of own will. So Lord Krishna explained in this particular section that why he takes birth, what is his purpose of coming to the this world. So he tells that yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata adhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujami aham. So sujami aham means I appear. I appear. I doesn't take birth. So Lord Krishna speak in this way. And the second section, here Lord Krishna speak about, he removes the misconception. What is the misconception? The first misconception is that nowadays people say that if somebody is Brahmin, then his son can be also Brahmin. No, that cannot be done. Or there is a proposal for casteless society. There won't be any caste. So it cannot be possible. Like Krishna speaks that Chaturvarna Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhaga. So this fourth division, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, this division has been created by me according to the gunas and karmas. Gunas means they have different nature. Some are like Brahmanas, they have the nature of goodness. Kshatriya, they have nature of passion. Vaishya, they have mixed nature, passion, ignorance. And Sudra, they have nature of only ignorance. So in this way, they have different nature, different qualities. So if you see, particularly analyze, everywhere you go, there will be this type of section. This fourth section will be definitely there. For example, if you, for our university, our institute, IARI, there will be some section of people, they will be scientists. There will be some section of people, there will be administrative class. Some section, they will be engaged in the agricultural activity. And some section will be there, they will be helping other three groups, like Sudra. So there is no, in the Vedic society, there is no, disrespect to the Sudra class, like fourth class will there. No. They help the other three classes of the people to conduct their activity. And another misconception is that people think that whatever way I am worshipping, the destination is same. It's like saying that, like there are different, if you go to airport, there will be different flights going to different destination. But is it that if I sit in a plane which is going to Odisha, shall I reach in Mumbai? No. I have to board a plane which is going to Mumbai. Like similar way, if I worship a different way, then the destination will be different. Like some, for example, if I sow a seed of, what you call pulse, shall I get the cereal? Wheat or maize? No, it cannot be done. If I have to get a pulse crop, then I have to see the pulse. Pigeon pea means pigeon pea. Wheat means wheat. Rice means rice. So, and for example, there are different worship, like some are worshipping the demigods, Indra, Chandra, or other demigods. So their destination will be different. Those who are worshipping the Supreme Lord, their destination will be different. So Lord tells that ye yathamam prapadyante. Whoever surrenders according to that degree, I reward them accordingly. I reciprocate immediately. I reciprocate them according to the surrender of the living entity. So if you worship demigods, then we will be awarded the place where the demigod resides. So in this way, Lord Krishna dispel whatever misconception we have. Then further, Lord Krishna speak about the about how to perform action so that we can be free from the reaction. So this is also very particular section is very important. Here Lord speak about your karma, what is bikarma, what is akarma. So Lord is telling that it is very difficult to know about this, what is karma, what is bikarma, what is akarma. Even a knowledgeable person, he can be also bewildered. So one has to learn it. One has to learn it from one who has the transcendental knowledge. But about our own, we cannot know what is karma, what is bikarma, and what is akarma. The karma means the activities where we are attached to the fruit of these activities. Bikarma means it is against the scriptural injunction. And akarma means these are the activities where we do not enjoy the result. Or these are the activities which is particularly for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So here we do not enjoy the result of the activity. These are called sacrifice. If you see in the previous chapter, Lord Krishna speaks that yag arthat karman anyatro lokayam karma bandhana. Yag arthat means your action should be as a sacrifice, like yagya. Yagya means for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Your action should be like yagya. Your activities should be like yagya. Yagya means for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Then you can be free from the reaction. So in this particular section, let's speak about the this classes like karma, vikarma, and akarma. And the fourth section is, let's speak about the sacrifices. Like I told that your action should be a sacrifice. But how to elevate? I mean, how to begin with this? For example, now we are obsessed with our to enjoy the result of our activity. But how to gradually uplift ourselves so that we can be free from this the desire to enjoy the result, or how can our work can be for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So let's speak about different sacrifices. So we have studied that there are different sacrifices. If you see, if you please, if you have Bhagavad Gita, please open that 30, the verse number 30. So there we'll read. So I will go to the I will go to the translation. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifices become cleansed of the sinful reaction. And having tested, I'm reading about verse number 30 of 4th chapter. So you can open that. So I'm reading the translation. All these performance means there are different sacrifices for the different classes of the people. So I will read that. Sacrifices become cleansed of the sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the result of the sacrifices, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. You see, there is advancement toward the supreme goal. There is advancement, not that one will become in the same position. No, by the sacrifices one will elevate oneself from your sakam karma to niskam karma, where one is now desire to enjoy. But now there will be a stage where he has no desire to enjoy the result of his activity. So I am reading the purport. From the foregoing explanation of different types of sacrifices. So what are the sacrifices? Yes, thank you, Manam Jagannath Prabhu. So you see, please open the purport, Prabhu. So you see here that from the foregoing explanation, so Lord has explained different types of sacrifices. So what are the different types of sacrifices? Namely, sacrifices of one possession. So whatever wealth you have, you are sacrificing that. Suppose, for example, you are worshipping a demigod. So you are worshipping with some sacrificing some possession, whatever you have. Then study of the Vedas. Okay, just a minute. Study of the Vedas. These are for those who are brahmachari. Who are in the brahmacharya stage. They engage themselves in the study of the Vedas or philosophical doctrines, and performance of yoga system, like Hatha Yoga. In Hatha Yoga comes the Patanjali's yoga system. That is Yam, Niyama, Pranayama, Asana. There are to the Samadhi. There are 8 stages. So if you see in the Yama stage also, there are different regulations, restrictions. But nowadays, what we want to do, we want to perform yoga. But what you are actually performing is only a part of the Patanjali yoga system, like some doing some asanas only. It's not the only purpose. We have to go to the what you call samadhi. Samadhi means one connects with the Supreme Lord. These are the different sacrifices are there, and performance of yoga system. So there are these different sacrifices are there for different groups of people. Like for impersonalists also, they want to merge themselves to the Supreme Lord, Supreme Brahman. So one group they worship the demigod. One group they want to merge themselves with the Supreme Brahman. One group like Brahmacharya, they want to study the Vedas. They want to get rid of sense gratification. So there are different sacrifices for the different groups of the people. But what is the purpose? It is found that the common aim of all is to control the senses. So the goal is to control the senses. And by controlling the senses, one can control your lust. By controlling the lust, you can invoke the transcendental knowledge. So this is the elevation. You see here, Prabhupada is writing that there is no chance of being elevated to the eternal platform of full knowledge, full bliss, and full life. Just that this cannot be there, because if you in the same stage, I mean, for the sense gratification, we are only enjoying the result of our activity. We cannot reach to that stage. So this is the elevation. So what we are doing by these sacrifices, one is able to control his senses. So this controlling of senses is not only not, but it has to rise to the highest platform. So this platform is in the eternal atmosphere or Brahman atmosphere. All the mentioned above mentioned sacrifices help one to become cleansed of the sinful reaction of material existence. Like why we are engaged in the sinful reactions? Because we want to enjoy. Because we do not have the transcendental knowledge. So what is there in our heart? We want to enjoy. We want to enjoy the matter. So by this advancement in life, here it is. Advancement in life, not only does one become happy and opulent in this life, but also at the end he enters into the eternal kingdom, either merging into the impersonal Brahman in case of your impersonalist, or associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like in case of devotees. They want to associate with the Supreme Lord. They want to serve the Supreme Lord. Some want to merge with the Supreme Lord, like in impersonal Brahman, and some want to serve the Supreme Lord. So in this way, there are different elevations. They are different. So if you see in the last, yes, Manam Prabhu, can you show the last verse? Last, I mean, line. Prabhupada ji will speak. This he will explain in detail. By this advancement of life, here not only one does become happy and opulent in this life, he become wealthy in this life, but at last, at the end, he entered into the eternal kingdom of God. So here, in the next verse, Prabhupada ji will explain how does that happen, and if one doesn't do that, what will happen to him? Yes, next verse. Can you show the next verse? Yeah. So now in this verse, now we are in this particular verse 31. So that I will read the sloka. Can you read? Yes, Manoram Jagannath Prabhu, can you read this? Yeah, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Neam lukasti ayangyasya kuta anya guru sattama. Should I read again, Prabhuji?
Please repeat one more time.
Na ayam loka asti ayagnyasya. I think we'll read word by word. It's a big one, I think. So Nayam Luka Asti Ayagnyasya Kuta Anya Purusattamaha. And synonyms, again I'll read. Na means never, Ayam is this, Loka is planet, Asti there is, and Ayagnasya is for one who performs no sacrifice. Kutaha, where is, and Anya is the other. Purusattama, or best amongst the Kurus. Yes,
yeah, thank you. So here Prabhupada is writing that the translation is like this: O best of the Kuru dynasty, like he addressing to the Arjuna, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What to speak of the next? So Prabhupada is telling that Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna that, O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, whatever sacrifice Lord has explained, that we have discussed, that sacrificing one own possession, whatever is having, sacrificing the object of sense gratification, sacrificing one own self. So there are different sacrifices. Without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet. Like in the previous verse we read in the last line, that if one is able to perform the sacrifice, not only one will become opulent in this life, and he also become happy. But here is not, without the sacrifice, one can never live happy on this planet or in this life. What to speak about the next? Like we want to be happy, but here the Lord Krishna is giving this formula that how we can be happy in this life or in this planet. Yes, can you show the purport, Prabhu? Yeah, thank you. So I will just read this. Whatever form of material existence one is in, one is invariably ignorant of its real situation. Like we are now ignorant. This is the reason we recite this prayer. Om Jnana Timirandhasya. Means I am born in ignorance. Then why I am ignorant? Because we saw that Lord Krishna spoke that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. But do we know this, that we are spirit soul? Only we just information we have. But we realize this? No. So we are ignorant of our real situation. In other words, existence in the material world is due to the multiple reactions to our sinful life. So like we read in that section that Lord Krishna, he doesn't take birth, he appeared, but we take birth according to our karma, according to our desire, whatever we have. Because of that, we take different types of species of life. So here Lord Krishna is telling that in the material world is due to multiple reactions to our sinful life. So because of our sinful life, because of our different karmas, we have taken different body, different lives we have in this material world. So here Lord Krishna is Prabhupada is giving a very important message that we have to see, that ignorance is the cause of sinful life, and sinful life is the cause of our once dragging on in the material existence. Like we perform so many sinful life. We say that I am suffering so much, but why I have not done any mistake? I am doing my duty properly. But how do we know that we are doing our duty properly? What is the criteria for judging that? That should be based on the message of Supreme Lord. If we are acting according to the Supreme Lord message, then we are doing it properly. But we are ignorant of this message. So because of that, we are engaged in the sinful life. So because of lack of the transcendental knowledge, the knowledge of our relationship with the Supreme Lord, the knowledge of our own self, so we are performing many sinful acts. And because of that, we are taking different form of life, life in this material world. And the human form of life is the only loophole by which one may get out of this entanglement. So how to get out of this entanglement of what you call your bikarma, whatever reaction of our karma, how to get out of this entanglement? Loophole means there is a means to escape. Like there is some room is there, but there is one hole. There is one hole where one can come out. So this human form of life is a chance where there is chance to get out of this entanglement. But if there is other species of life, like your other animal species of life, there is no chance. There we cannot get out of our existence. So this is a chance given to us so that we can get out of the reactions of our activities, and from this material world we can get out of this miserable condition. So this is a chance to the human being, but we cannot instruct by bringing a dog and you can tell that you should not do like this, you should not do like this. This can be instructed to only to us, to the human being. So the Vedas therefore give us a chance for escape by pointing out the path of religion, economic comfort, regulated sense gratification, and at last the means to get out of the miserable condition of life entirely. So the Vedas they gave up. The Vedas means what? The word Veda has come from knowledge. Ved means to know, knowledge. Vedas. So there are what are the different paths Vedas provide? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma means religion. Religion. It gives out the religion. So we'll see what are the religions it gives. Then economic comfort. Then your regulated sense gratification. How can you have sense gratification, regulated sense gratification? And at last, the means to get out of the miserable condition of life, that is moksha. So Vedas give this knowledge. So how it has been very nicely explained here, Srila Prabhupada ji. The path of religion or the different kinds of sacrifice. So path of religion means what? The different kinds of sacrifices. So this is the path of religion. Recommended above. Automatically solve our economic problem. So Prabhupada will explaining about the path. What is the dharma part. So if you perform your dharma, you perform your sacrifice, then your economic problem will be solved. How? The Prabhupada is taking here. By performance of yajna, we can have enough food, enough milk, even if there is so-called increasing population. So now we are saying that there is so much population. How to feed them? So it is also, of course, it is a challenge for us that we have to increase our food and productions year by year to feed our overgrowing population. But here Prabhupada ji recommending, Lord Krishna is recommending that we have to perform yajna. But we cannot believe, like Lord Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, yajna sisters, in that Lord Krishna speaks that by performing of yajna, you can get the rain. By performing the rain, you can be get the food grain. In this way, Lord Krishna speaks that by performing the yajna, if you perform the yajna, there will be profuse rain. By rain, we can get that is, if there is no rain, we cannot have the food grain also. But we cannot believe this, that simply by performance of yajna, we can have the rain. Because we are not purified. Our heart is not purified. So this is the knowledge of transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge means the knowledge which our human mind cannot comprehend. Our human mind cannot comprehend. Like we know that we are soul. Sorry, we are soul, but do we know that we are soul? No. We think ourselves the body. So the transcendental knowledge means Divya Gyan means the knowledge which we cannot comprehend. Like for example, if you see Lord, how like Lord Krishna speak in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speak that Janma karma chave divyam yo janati tatpatah vaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sa Arjuna. Janma and karma both are transcendental. Divyam. Divyam means what? Like we read in Shastra, in Srimad Bhagavatam, that Lord Krishna appears with 4 hands. Sankha Chakra Gada Padma. But have we seen any persons in the history that any baby has born with 4 hands? No. But if we compare that, nobody has born, but we cannot say that Lord Krishna cannot be like that, because he is Supreme Lord, he can do anything. So we cannot comprehend that how Lord, because he is the Supreme Lord, he can do whatever thing he can do. Then Lord Krishna lifted very small age, he lifted Govardhan hill. How he lifted? In the left hand, the small finger, he lifted Govardhan hill. You see the Govardhan hill, I think, I don't know whether all of you have seen or not, but I have heard that in Shastra it is mentioned that previously the Govardhan hill was like cloud. You have seen cloud, up to that height it was there. Up to that height. Like if you go in plane, you will see the cloud will be there. Above the cloud, there will be sunshine will be very profuse. If you see the cloud will be like some hills, they will be forming the hill. Up to that level it was there. But Lord Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill with a single, I mean his left hand, the small finger. So that because he is Supreme Lord, he can do that. But our mind cannot comprehend that, because we don't have that vision to see. We have no vision to see, and we cannot accept. So until all this we get purified, we are purified from the Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Modh, Matsarya, all the anartha. We cannot comprehend, we cannot accept this thing. So here Lord Krishna is speaking that if you perform yajna, then you can have enough food. There will be enough rain, there will be enough food. The food grains are there, then there will be the livestock they can survive, and we can feed the overgrowing population. And after fulfilling your bodily demand, when the body is fully supplied, naturally the next stage is to satisfy the senses. Like then come to the sense gratification. So we have to our now like whenever there is so much opulent food we take, then our body is so much active, our senses are active. So what we do, we try to enjoy the senses. We try to again satisfy the senses. Like for example, there are some of the days where we fast. There is what you call fasting. So at that time, what happens? The senses become weak, and they do not demand the sense object. They are controlled, they are regulated. So here what happened? When our body is supplied fully, then there is a next stage to satisfy the senses. The Vedas prescribe, therefore, sacred marriage for regulated sense gratification. So we saw in the previous verses that for a grihastha, he has to he should regulate the sex life. In a grihastha, he is allowed to have sex life for procreation, to beget a good children, but he should be regulated. So here Prabhupada is telling that for regulation of sense gratifications, like there are 4 regulations in our ISKCON movement. There are 4 regulations: no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. No illicit sex means no sex outside your marriage life. So here Prabhupada is telling that one should be married, so that there is no illicit connection. Like nowadays there is live in, live out relationship. There is no concept of it is becoming in the day by day. There is no concept. There will in the future there won't be concept of marriage system. Living and live out. So here Prabhupada is telling that one has to be married, so that he doesn't engage in this illicit connection, in illicit sex life. Like Prabhupada, when there was when the Krishna consciousness movement was there, in the Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada himself, he instructed his disciple and the disciples and the American disciple to get some of the disciples to get married, so they won't be engaged in the illicit connection. So that they can be married, they can have children, they can be responsible, and they can live a happy life. So for regulated sense gratification, regulated sex life, one has to get married. Thereby one is gradually elevated to the platform of release from the material bondage. So he is by becoming the means what you call regulated. He's becoming regulated. So he is becoming free from the bondage, because he is gradually elevating himself. Because in the initial stage he is so much engaged in the sense gratification, so much enjoying mood, but he is sacrificing that. Like for example, if you see in the previous verses, Lord Krishna has given this sacrifice to the householder, the sex life. He should sacrifice this sex life. It means he should be in a regulated sex life. It is a sacrifice for the householder. So he is becoming regulated. If he is become regulated, he can have the knowledge. And the highest perfection of liberated life is to associate with the Supreme Lord. Like we saw now, that dharma, artha, in economic development, kama, and moksha. Now to be liberated. Moksha means to get liberated. Liberated means what? Liberated from the miserable condition of our life. Liberated from the suffering, whatever we are having. How? By associating with the Supreme Lord. By serving him, we can be liberated from the whatever unmiserable condition, whatever the miserable condition we have. So we can serve the Supreme Lord, we can be happy, because that is our natural condition. So here further, so Supreme Lord says that perfection is achieved by performance of sacrifice, as described above. So as we saw in this verse also, the perfection is how? By performing the sacrifice. Like here, if one is not performing the sacrifice, then he cannot be perfect, he cannot be happy. And now if a person is not inclined to perform yajna according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life even in this life, in this body? And what to speak of another body on another planet? Like Prabhupada is speaking that if you perform yajna, then you can have sufficient grant. You can live a happy life. But if you are not performing yajna, the most important yajna is in this age of Kali is Sankirtana, chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is said that there are for different yogas, there are different recommendations. For this Kali Yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva gatir anyatha. So there is no other way. So now, if a person is not inclined to perform yajna according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life even in this body? So in this body, he cannot fulfill his bodily demand, the bodily necessary. And what to speak of another body on another planet? So Prabhupada explained about the other planet. So there are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets. So like Yanti, if you worship a particular demigod, you will go to his abode. If you worship Indra, then he will go to Swargloka. Like if you worship other demigod, you will go to his low. So different planets, and they have different degree of happiness. So like if somebody passes, किसी का अगर देहांत हो जाता है तो हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, वो स्वर्गवास हो गया है. क्यों हम सोचते हैं कि वो यहाँ तो एंजॉय करेगा, वो नेक्स्ट लाइफ में भी एंजॉय कर सकता है. ये इसलिए बोलते हैं हम लोग कि he has gone to heavenly planet. But here, how to go to heavenly planet, how to go to different planets, you have to perform different sacrifice. For go to moon planet, we have different sacrifices. To go to sun planet, we have different sacrifices. To go to Swargloka, we have different sacrifices that are mentioned in the Vedas. So, and they have different degrees of happiness. But in all cases, there is immense happiness for person engaged in different kind of yajna. But the highest kind of happiness is that a man can achieve is to be promoted to the spiritual planet by practice of Krishna consciousness. But if you go to this planet, suppose we go to moon planet or sun planet or to heavenly planet, but that is temporary. Again, you have to come back. You have to come back. If your pious credit, whatever credits you have got, if you get adjusted, you have to again come to this material world, and again you have to perform activity. And these planets are temporary because these are in the material world. The 14 planetary system, whatever we have, these are in the material world. So they will be destroyed in the course of time. They are not permanent. But the spiritual planets, like Lord speak that if you go to my planet, that you cannot, we need not have to come back again. Like Lord speaks that like Lord speaks that wherever there is no need to return. That you cannot return. You cannot be returned to this planet. If you come to my planet, if you worship me and come to my abode, no need to come back again. So how can we go to the Supreme planet? By practice of Krishna consciousness, by worshipping him. Lord gives in the Bhagavad Gita, Man mana mad bhakto, mad jaji mam namaskuru. Like Lord speaks that, Man mana, you think of me, you think of my instruction, you think of my advices. Man mana bhav mad bhakto, if you become my devotee. Mad jaji, if you worship me. And namaskuru, if you pay obeisance to me. If you do like this, you will come to me. If you come to me, then you will be permanently happy. Because my planets, they cannot be destroyed. These are permanent life. If you see in the previously also, Prabhupada has written that one full knowledge, full bliss, and full full life. Like our nature is Sāci-Sutā Vigraha. Sāci-Sutā, not Vigraha, Sāci-Sutā, eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. Because we are eternal, so we want a planet which is eternal. So there is a planet, the Supreme Lord planet, that is eternal. It's never annihilated, it's never destroyed. So if you go to that planet, there is no, it cannot be returned to the material world. So here Prabhupada is telling that a life of Krishna consciousness is therefore the solution to the whole problem of material existence. So if one lives a life of Krishna consciousness, keeping Lord Krishna as the center, knowing one's relationship with the Supreme Lord, having the transcendental knowledge of one own self and the Supreme Lord, and knowing the Lord Krishna as the Supreme Enjoyer, Supreme Proprietor, Supreme Friend, then there should be no problem with the material existence for him. So there are different problem of the material existence. जैसे कि हम लोग बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम होता है, इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम होता है, बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम होता है. There are many problems, but these are not actually the problem. Lord Krishna speak in Bhagavad Gita. So the problems is of four kind: janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Birth, then your mrityu, your death, old age, jara, and vyadhi means disease. So these are four problems. Now, yeah, I will explain this. Why these are the four problems? Only why these are the four problems. If you see, suppose I have some economic problem, so that problem can be solved. That problem can be solved, and someone having mental problem, someone having other problem. So this problem can be solved. But if you see janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, these are the problems which are universal in nature. If you see death, there is no place in the earth. There is no place in the earth where there is no death. So death is actually the actual problem is the death. Old age, if you see, we have invented many medicines, many hospitals, but can anyone say that he cannot be subjected to old age? No. Then what you call disease? There is no free of disease. No one can be free of disease. Everyone has to go to the old age. So actually, these are the main problems. But other problems are temporary problems. Like suppose now I am not getting a job. If I read properly, if I search properly, I can get a good job. I am having some problem with somebody. That problem can be also solved. So these are the problems because these are the problems which are individual. But the janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, these are the problems which are universal in nature. Like suppose somebody is educated, somebody is not educated. So these are relative, but these are the problems. The Lord Krishna speak that janma, mrityu, and jara, vyadhi. These are the actual problem because this problem is with everybody, and these are the problems which will be permanent problem. These are not temporary problem. So Lord, Prabhuji telling that if one practice the Krishna consciousness, that all these problems can be solved. Like suppose for example, mental problem. In Krishna consciousness, we have chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mental problem. The mind can be controlled. It is advised that in Krishna consciousness, one has to take only Krishna Prasad. Your food habit is regulated. If your food habit is regulated, your sleeping is regulated. If you like what you call going to bed early and rising early, make a person wise and healthy. I don't remember exactly that sequence, but that every problems can be solved. Happiness, if you might have experienced, some of you have gone to our youth festival. There was so much enjoyment there, so much kirtan, so much delicious prasadam. Our hunger is satisfied, our heart is satisfied, our soul is satisfied. And study, we have not able to study. If we properly regulate our time, we can properly study. So in a nutshell, the Krishna consciousness problem can solve all the problem. Like recently we had a lecture by one of our eminent personality. His name was I don't remember. He was invited in our one of the Teachers' Day celebration. He was president of Indian National Science Academy, and also he was secretary to Department of Science and Technology. So he was speaking in one of the slide. He was showing that he was speaking about one of the scientists who quote this, that there is so much problem of climate change, loss of biodiversity, so much economic problems. But he was telling that some of these problems resides with our egoism, greed, envy. So he telling that, but we scientists, we do not know this. So technology, he was speaking that technology can give solution to some part of the problem, but it cannot solve. It cannot give the solution to all the problem. Total solution cannot you get the by only technology. So there should be a combination of both. Our body is a combination of both body and spirit soul. Both solutions should be there. So here Prabhupada is speaking about the Krishna consciousness. It is solution to all the problems of life. We can be healthy, or whatever problem we have, that can be solved. And most important problem that we diagnose, that this Janma, Mrityu and Jara Vyadhi, these are the most important problem, and that problem can be solved only in the form of human form of life. That Prabhupada has told that only the human form of life is only loophole where one can get out of this material existence. Material existence means what? Janma, Mrityu, Jara Vyadhi. If you are not able to get out of this material world, then again you will be subjected to this another form of life. Again Janma, Mrityu, Jara Vyadhi. Again another form of life. Again Janma, Mrityu, Jara Vyadhi. It will be repeated. So in a nutshell, so the Krishna consciousness is, if we follow the principle of Krishna consciousness, whatever Lord Krishna is advising, then we can solve all the problem of the world, and we can be happy in this life, and our next life also will be happy. So in a short, whatever things I could able to comprehend, I could explain this. And if somebody has any comments or criticism or question or whatever, he can or she can put forward. Yes, thank you. Yes, Sonika, please go forward. Yes, Sonika, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you have explained in the purport of sloka 4.30, and there Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that if we are practicing Krishna consciousness, or we are advancing in this life, so no one means not only does one become happy and opulent in this life, but also at the end he enters into the eternal kingdom of God. So Prabhuji, here it is mentioned he will become happy and opulent. So happiness we can understand, yeah, because we are doing kirtan and having prasadam and all. Then what does mean here by opulence?
Yeah, very good question. That I also have mentioned that the same explanation it is given by Prabhupada in the next verse. The next verse, you see here that how one is getting opulent. Like we have economic problem now. So here Prabhupada is telling that by performing yajna, we can have enough food, enough milk, and even if there is so-called increase in population. Opulent means what? You should have enough food to eat. Opulent means what? In terms of your whatever you have now. Opulent means what? It should be rich. Rich means what? If there is no production, if there is no food production, how can one be rich? These factories and all, what they will give? Can they provide us food?
No, Prabhuji.
No, they cannot be food. They cannot provide us the what you call food. So I was also listening to some of the lectures that I mentioned that in the Teachers' Day also, that advancement means what? Advancement means what? Means the consumption. The consumption. He was explaining the very famous personality. He was explaining that advancement means what? Consumption is more, isn't it? I think some of you are maybe good in economics term. So if there is much consumption, if you have more money to purchase, there is advancement. You have sufficient money to purchase, purchasing power or consumption power. So if you have enough food grain production, then other thing will automatically will be there. हाँ, अगर मान लीजिए अगर प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं हुआ तो प्रोसेस कहाँ होगा, प्रोसेस नहीं हुआ तो बिजनेस कहाँ से चलेगा। शुरुआत प्रोडक्शन से है, तो ऑपुलेंट लाइफ जो है प्रोडक्शन से है। अगर प्रोडक्शन शुरू हुआ, अगर यज्ञ, जैसे प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे थे, भगवान बताया कि अगर यज्ञ करते हैं तो सफिशिएंट रेन नहीं हुआ, सफिशिएंट रेन होगा। अब मान लीजिए सफिशिएंट रेन ही नहीं हुआ तो आगे का क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग। देखिए आप देखेंगे तो कुछ फूड प्राइसेस जब बीच में वो हो गया था, मतलब इंक्रीज हो गया था। टमाटर का किलो कितना हो गया था, 200 रुपया। हाँ, 200 रुपया हो। ऑपुलेंट मतलब क्या, आपके पास होना चाहिए ना पैसे खरीदने के लिए। तो अगर प्रोडक्शन अगर सही ढंग से होता है तो बाकी चीज जो वो फॉलो करेगा, बाकी नहीं तो अगर प्रोडक्शन नहीं हुआ तो बिजनेस भी नहीं होगा, कुछ भी नहीं होगा। हाँ, तो ये जो जितने हम लोग इंडस्ट्रीज वगैरह जो भी है वो चलेगा कैसे, रॉ मटेरियल कहाँ से आएगा, आएगा तो एग्रीकल्चर लैंड से, तो वहां से अगर शुरुआत है। तो ये प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे हैं कि अगर हम यज्ञ करते हैं, हाँ, अगर भगवान के जो वाणी को सुनते हैं, भगवान की वाणी के हिसाब से चलते हैं, तो ये हम अपुलेंट भी बनेंगे। ये मेरा जो आंसर है, हाँ, जो प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे हैं जो 31 के श्लोक में। यस सोनिका, hope I able to
Yes, sir. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, any other things, if anybody has some. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, Mamta has asked some question. Only Krishna Bhakti one can get a spiritual about, but what about other? So Lord Krishna speak in Bhagavad Gita that, okay, but what about other bhakti path like Shiva Bhakti or Durga Bhakti? They will not get a spiritual abode. My question is that only Krishna's abode is spiritual. What about other god abodes? Yeah, very good question. That if somebody worships other god, other demigod or goddesses, so their abode is not spiritual because they comes under the material planet. That they comes under the 14 planetary system. But Supreme Lord is spiritual abode. That is spiritual planet. And Lord Krishna also speak that if one worship the moon god, he will go to moon planet. If worship sun god, he will go to sun planet. If one worship the Lord Shiva, where he will go? Yeah, he will go to what is that? His dham is some dham is there. I don't remember exactly. So he will go to abode where Lord Krishna, Kailas. He will go to abode where Lord Shiva reside. So if you perform only Krishna Bhakti, one will get a spiritual abode. But what about other path? I explained, like Shiva Bhakti or Durga Bhakti, they will not get a spiritual abode. Yes, they will be in the material world. In the material world also we have different abode, different planetary system. They will go to different planets. My question is that only Krishna's abode is spiritual. Yes, the Krishna's abode is only spiritual. And spiritual means what? It is eternal. It is eternal and it is full of bliss and full of knowledge. So eternal means there is no spirit means what? Eternal. So there is no destruction of these planets when there is destruction of the whole cosmic manifestation. This is eternal. Yeah, hope I could able to explain you. Thank you. Yes, so if there is no other question, then we'll stop here. Okay, Lord Shiva worship Lord Vishnu. Similarly, Lord Vishnu or Rama worship Lord Shiva. Why don't, just a minute. Lord Shiva worship Lord Vishnu. Similarly, Lord Vishnu or Ram worship Lord Shiva. Why don't equate Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu at the same platform? Why don't we? Why don't we equate? So yes, we don't equate because Lord Krishna speak if you see many places, Lord Krishna has established that he is the Supreme Lord. And not only Lord Krishna has explained, but even if you see Brahmaji, he is our chief. He told that ईश्वरः परमः कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिर आदिर गोविंद सर्व कारणम कारणम, sorry, सर्व कारण कारणम. ईश्वरः परमः कृष्ण. So like you said that Lord Shiva is also Ishvara. Lord Vishnu also Ishvara. They are all Ishvara. Ishvara means what? Controller. We are also Ishvara. If you see, we are also Ishvara, but we are minute Ishvara, or because, but we cannot speak that we are what you call supreme controller, supreme Ishvara. That supreme Ishvara or the Parameshvara is supreme Lord. So we cannot equate Lord Shiva. You cannot equate Lord Shiva with Lord Brahma, sorry, Lord Vishnu with the Supreme Lord. So, and many places, you see, like Bhagavad Gita also, Lord speak, Matta Paratara Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. There is no truth which is superior to me. In another place, Lord speak that everything emanates from me. Everything emanates from me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate. Like Lord, from Lord Krishna, everyone comes from Lord Krishna. If you see, we have not read much of the Bhagavatam, but there also it is said that Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Whatever incarnation, whatever expansion are there, they are either direct expansion or expansion that is called Kala. But Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Lord Krishna is the supreme. He is the Bhagavan. He is the Bhagavan. He is the supreme Lord. But as you have mentioned here that Lord Shiva worship Lord Vishnu. Similarly, Lord Vishnu or Ram worship Lord Shiva. That explanation for the time being I cannot give you. But we cannot know that. Yes, Sonika, please answer this. Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I wanted to add something here, just by giving one example with your permissions, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, we can take an example of Krishna and Sudama. When Sudama went to Dwarka, Krishna just approached him and just greeted him and just worshipped him actually. He, can I talk in Hindi, Prabhuji?
Please go ahead.
जब सुदामा आए थे द्वारका तो कृष्णा उनको बहुत अच्छे से मतलब उनका स्वागत किए थे, अश्रुओं से उनका पांव धुले थे और उनकी प्रॉपर जो है सेवा किए थे और उनकी जो एक तरह से जो पूजा अर्चना सारे नैवेद्य से उन्होंने किया था, तो वो भी एक तरह का वर्शिप ही था. लेकिन भगवान ऐसी लीलाएं इसलिए दिखाते हैं ताकि वो अपने प्योर डिवोटीज को ग्लोरीफाई कर सकें. सिमिलरली जब वो राम अवतार में आए थे तो उन्होंने भगवान शिव को ग्लोरीफाई करने के लिए उनकी स्तुति की थी, उनकी आराधना की थी.
Thank you. So like Lord Shiva, his position is he Vaishnavanam Sambhu, means he is the topmost Vaishnava. He is the topmost Vaishnava. Like Sonika has rightly said that to glorify his devotee, he performed this what you call lila, whatever these activities. Like I told that we cannot understand this because we have that limited knowledge and we do not know the things properly. So we cannot know the things which is right or not wrong. But this is transcendental. But as you get purified by chanting the holy name of the Lord, and this thing will be revealed to us and slowly. So at the present moment, some of the things which will look awkward to us, but that we should have some faith, and gradually we can understand this. So thank you very much, all of you. Anybody has anything? Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, and yes, thank you, Mamta. Yeah, anything others? Okay, then we'll be ending the session here. Thank you very much for joining. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Nitai Gaur Pramanande. Hari Hari Bol.